Hey guys. So Jake and I just started a fundraiser for Feeding Westchester, which is an organization devoted to providing safe and free meals for people in our area. And in times like these, where there's a lot of economic turmoil and money is getting pretty scarce, these organizations can really help ameliorate the issue. So far, we've raised over $600, which is amazing, but I think we can do even more. So if you'd like to help out or donate money or share or spread the word, it'd be amazing. And we've linked the GoFundMe page in the description below if you'd like to help out. Of course, it's not required, but if you could help out, it would mean the world to us. So on to the podcast.
Hello, friends and family from near and far. My name is Jake Wild. I'm here with my co-pilot,
Alex Dempsey, and today we have a very, very, very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
There's three varies.
I know, it's very important.
Hey, I'm Nate. Hello, Nate.
Welcome to the ADIOS SENOR podcast. Now,
me
personally, I'm a little bit shocked you were able to make it on tonight because for those of you who are unaware, Nate, when it comes to technology, is like my grandmother, meaning that he just doesn't know how to use technology. So both me and Jake were very shocked he was able to make it tonight on the Zoom call.
Well, you see, normally I would have trouble with something like this, but actually we've been doing Zoom rehearsal for a long time now. So I was able to figure it out because I knew how the procedure worked to get onto Zoom.
I'm impressed.
It's just procedure.
So how have these Zoom rehearsals gone?
The Zoom rehearsals have been pretty good. I really, really appreciate Mr. Lopez's optimism because in a time where everyone seems super, super negative about pretty much everything, Mr. Lopez has kept on with the show, even though the likelihood of us doing it this year is low. And he has the complete intention of us performing it, whether or not it's in the fall or this spring if we get back to school. So I've been enjoying it, and it's really nice to see everyone's face from the theater department once a week.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely respect Mr. Lopez for that, for trying to keep the community together, even though we're in like very dark times and like there's a lot of going on right now. I really respect him for keeping going. Yeah.
How are these rehearsals going? Like, what are you guys doing?
Basically, we're just reading our lines because we can't do any sort of blocking or anything. But for me, it's really fun. It's another it's kind of like it's a lot like my character in Rumors, where he's like this abrasive New Jersey tourist who like yells and screams all the time and constantly gets in arguments with his wife and is just under stress the entire show. So it's a really over the top role. So it's really fun for me to act.
It sounds fun.
Sounds fun, yeah. So what's happening with the show right now? Are you guys like still scheduled to go on this school year?
So yeah, basically Mr. Lopez and Mr. Gulick said that if we get back to school on May 15th, then we will try our best to put up the show. And if we don't have school for the rest of the year, then we will try to do it the second weekend of the fall. Okay. Which interesting makes pretty good sense. It's a play, so it won't really take that long to block. I remember you guys were both in Rumors, and it took like days to block the whole show, and then we just ran it. So,
would you have to do rehearsals over the summer?
Yeah, maybe we would probably have to pick up some more like Zoom rehearsals in late August to make sure we were all like good with our characters.
Right, that makes sense.
And so you'd pretty much go into like Tech Week, like the minute you get back to school. Is that how it work?
I feel like
that could be a little hectic.
It would be hectic, but I think it would also be really fun, and it would be a really cool way to kick off my senior year, actually.
I think it would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nate, what else have you been up to during this quarantine?
Well, you got to keep yourself occupied. I've been doing a lot of singing, playing a lot of guitar, starting to think a lot about college and stuff.
Right.
So I want to practice and be the best I can for auditions.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started like doing your musical theater like audition preparation? Is that what you've been doing?
A little bit. So I've actually been doing weekly Zoom dance lessons.
Ooh.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm so bad at dancing, but yeah, she's teaching me like basic technique to the point where hopefully by the time like November, December rolls around and I'm in a dance audition room with a bunch of kids who are like ridiculous dancers, that I don't feel like I'm completely out of place.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing about those
Do you feel
dance
like-
calls, because I remember I used to do a lot of like theater where dance was like a really big thing. Like when I did Lighthouse, those dance calls, it wasn't really how good you can dance. It was really how quickly you picked up steps and like how like fast you can kind of like reproduce them.
Yeah, totally. Though I've always hated dance calls because
Yeah.
when I was in 8th grade, I had a really traumatizing experience where I was doing this audition for this company that basically like puts you in a group of kids that are about your skill level, and you do cool theater stuff together so you can like run scenes or learn choreography or whatever. And I did this audition, and I found out that there was a dance call that day of the audition.
Oh my
I
God.
was asking everyone, I was like, is it hard? And they were like, it's technique based. And I was like, okay, what is that? I get in there, I'm in a room of like 30 people. We're all learning this dance. And this dude comes out and he's like, hey, I'm going to choreograph your dance today. I'm in the ensemble of Hello Dolly on Broadway right now, and I'm going to teach you the dance that we do after we bow. So I was like,
God.
so he taught us the dance, and I completely f***ed it up. It was so hard.
No, I'm sure it is, because like I feel like if that were me, like seeing like this semi-famous person like come on stage and he's like, oh, I'm in Broadway. It's like you want to do your best to like impress him.
Yeah,
like that's like where you want to be. It's like the person you want to be eventually, and it's like all this pressure on you. And I guess you kind of cracked in that moment.
yeah, definitely. And it was just even worse because there were just so many kids there. There was like 30 to 40 kids that all watched. Like they brought up like 4 people at a time, and they all watched us. And I was
Were the kids good? Like, were the other kids good?
Oh yeah, they were really, really good. Some of them,
Really?
yeah, some of them you could tell were like really experienced at like ballet and whatnot.
Was this the show you did with Andrew Barth Feldman? Was that
No.
one or no?
No, that was the Atkins family, and I did that in the city.
I always enjoy bringing it up because little known fact, Nate used to do theater with Andrew Barth Feldman, who was just Evan Hansen on Broadway. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
I did one show in the city with this company called Broadway Workshops, and Andrew Barth, I was like a small supporting role in the Addams Family. Andrew Barth Feldman was the main character.
Of course.
And Presley Ryan, who's
Right.
Beetlejuice right now, was Wednesday Addams.
And Trevor Furman was in the show.
Yeah, Trevor was.
Trevor Furman was Lurch.
Did you?
Yeah, it was.
Did you like carpool to this?
We did. Me, Rob, and Trevor would sometimes call together.
It's Rob, Trevor's dad.
I have a very distinct memory of being very nervous in the car with Rob once because he talked about how he consumed like 8 espresso beans before he started driving us home. And he was like tapping on the wheel, like dancing, like all jazzed up, and I was like, "We're gonna get into a car crash."
Oh my God.
But we didn't because Rob is obviously a really good driver and very responsible parent, and I was a dumb 8th grader.
Well, of course.
Here.
So I just want to bring up, Jake, your webcam. Or not, it's not webcam. Your camera is like very, very long right now.
Do I look like you, Dempsey?
Yes.
How is it now?
I mean, yeah, there we go. That's good. You know, I'm the only person who can be long here, you know.
You are the longest of them all, Dempsey.
I know.
Oh, all right, Nate. So, have you been watching any TV or movies?
I have been. I've been watching Shameless.
Great show.
I know. I have to agree. So, little context: all 3 of us have been watching this show called Shameless on Netflix, It is by far one of the best shows I've seen to date. I feel kind of bad because I'm like so much farther behind than you guys. I'm on season 3.
So Nate's on season 7. I'm on season 5. Dempsey's on season 3.
We're all 2 seasons apart from each other.
No, it's pretty much like ranked who the coolest is here. It's Nate, Jake.
Totally.
Oh my god.
This is true.
Okay, fine. I guess I'll never be as cool as Nate.
It's cool. Nicole Tissot recommended the show to me, and I was like, and everything she recommends to me, I usually end up liking. So I watched it, and then I was like, Jake, you gotta watch it. And then Jake showed to Dempsey, and so now all 3 of us were hooked on it. Know. And it's like honestly, probably the most bingeable show I've ever watched.
It's great,
and I've been watching for like a month.
Definitely would recommend.
Yeah, I mean, there's some episodes where I just watch it and I just like have to back away for 5 minutes and be like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
It's like, because it was so crazy. Because like, I feel like for me, you get this like totally different perspective on life, seeing it from like the absolute lowest of the low in like this like really like poor sector of Chicago. Right. And you kind of just see how like they're able to come through and like live every day. And like barely survive every day. I just think it's like very eye-opening, even though like some of the stuff that they show is kind of ridiculous, and there's a lot of comedy in it too. I just think that it like really opened me up.
Yeah, I mean, the show is so bizarre and over the top,
right?
But at the same time, the characters and story feel so grounded in reality.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact
and
same
I mean,
thing.
I think what helps a lot with that is just the acting is just incredible all around. Like, I'd probably say like William H. Macy is the most impressive.
Yeah, so he plays the father, right? Frank.
Yeah. And he's a horrible person, but you still garner sympathy for him because the show like does such a good job of making him a likable character because he's first off like he's just absolutely hilarious.
Right. He's like this like ultra conservative person who's like gets like political with people all the time and is like spewing out nonsense.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I forget what I was going to say.
It's a great show.
You have this like side of him that's like, at some points I think he's caring. I think he cares for other people at times. But then you see him like completely blow off people and use people for his own monetary gain, only to like spend it on alcohol and drink and like be an alcoholic.
Then you just see that all these people, like no matter what horrible things they do, are just people that have ended up in really, really unfortunate circumstances.
Totally.
I get that.
Gives you an interesting look onto that, definitely.
It gives you like this really cool perspective on life.
Yeah. I mean, I think also a really cool thing that I was kind of noticing with one of the characters, Fiona, who's I guess you could say she's the main character of the story. Yeah. How she's trying to balance like taking care of her family, but then also trying to like find opportunities to make her own like standing like better, like through like, because like she tries to become a manager of a nightclub, but has to spend money that she would otherwise like use to pay for to keep her.
Dempsey, you're so far back.
I know.
So far behind.
I know, but I just kind of see her do that, and then like when she tries to like better herself for like one instance, her family kind of cracks down on her, and it's like so upset, and like I just find it interesting, kind of how like they're all kind of fending for themselves in a way.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. Like the show makes you just fall in love with Fiona. Like she's just such a nice, like hopeful, like uplifting character, and like the show just throws constant bullshit at her. It's sad. It's really sad. And despite it being like a comedic show, like there's just so much good drama.
Right.
Totally.
I mean, it's why they've been going on for like 10 seasons.
Yes, there's 11 seasons.
Yeah. I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm never going to like finish this show. And I have like so much. And then like next thing I know, I'm like 2 seasons in and I'm like, oh, maybe I will finish this one day. Because there's just like so much there and it's just so easy to watch, I feel like. because
Yeah.
like
Tim,
the
so you
story
really-
is so good.
You really crunched for time right now?
No, no, not at all. I feel like no one's really crunched for time, which I think is interesting. You know, we're not in like a rush, which I mean, Jake and I have discussed a lot on the podcast, like kind of like time is slowed down at this point. Like we're not like in a rush. What do you think about that, Nate?
I don't know. It's hard to say because for me, a lot of the time it does actually feel like time is speeding up because it just really feels like the days just like blend into each other.
Yeah.
Like I
I
think
do
also
get that.
I think waking up at like 1 every day has
Yeah, right.
because the day feels so short, and then like even though you're awake till like 3 or 4 at night, like it doesn't feel like it's real life, so it doesn't go by. It goes by like pretty quick.
Yeah,
You know what
I have
mean?
noticed that.
Yeah.
I mean, today I woke up at 1 and like, I don't know, I stayed in my bed for an hour and then I like come down at like 2:30 and I'm like, oh my God, it's like 2:30. And then next thing I know, it's 5 and now it's like, oh, it's 8. It's time to film the podcast. It's just
Yeah, and
crazy how far it's.
The weirdest thing is when you think about like, so you got out of bed at 2:30. You think about like when you got out of bed is when you would be leaving school.
Coming home from school, exactly.
How weird is that? It's crazy.
It's just,
That's crazy.
my whole entire day has just been inverted at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I wake up when I get home from school. It's
Yeah.
like, but I mean, like we never really came home from school at 2:30. I mean, we'd have rehearsal until like 6. So which, yeah. I mean, if I get to the point where I'm waking up at 6, then we're gonna have a problem.
I was actually
What's the
I texted Shay yesterday, and then he just didn't respond to me all day, and I was like, all right. And he texted me at like 4, and he was like, sorry, I've turned nocturnal. I just
Oh my God.
I was like
you woke up at 4 when? Today?
a.m.
AM.
Yeah. He's like, I ended up
Crazy.
sleeping all day. I was like,
Oh, Shay. Oh, no.
yeah.
I think that's so funny. I mean, like, I just think it's so interesting how like people just don't really care what time do they go to bed like at this point anymore. Like I don't know. It's
Right.
just like our days have just become so different.
What is a day in the life of a quarantine
Yeah,
look like for Nathaniel Bergman?
I mean, I don't really stick to any sort of specific schedule, but I roll out of bed at like 1:45. I eat breakfast, then I'll like watch Shameless or play video games for a while. Then I'll try to do I've been trying to work out.
How's that going?
Workout means like I do like simple body weight exercises just
Yeah.
because I'm already laying around all day, so I have to like do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'll go downstairs, I'll do a little singing, maybe play some guitar, and then I'll do my homework.
Sounds like a solid day there.
I mean, it's not that bad. Like as much as this sucks, like it's boring and I can't see people and I miss people a lot. Like I keep myself occupied and
Yeah.
I'm okay. So
Have you learned
Yeah.
any new skills or anything new? Really?
I mean, no, not really. Gotten a lot better at guitar, which is
That's
cool.
good.
I've gotten better at Overwatch.
That's solid.
Um,
I know Nate joins our FaceTime calls all the time. It's like, here, I need to finish my round of Overwatch. Give me like 10 minutes.
yeah,
I'll be like, oh my God, Nate's turned into a gamer over here.
yeah.
Yeah, you are a gamer now.
So Nate this week got mentor, which is this kind of like very prestigious position at our school where they're like introducing freshmen into the high school. So I want to know like how you found out and like what was going on when you found out and like your reaction to it.
Yeah, so I was in the middle of rehearsal actually, because we found out 4:00 on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
We had rehearsal from 3 to 5. So me and Goldie were both finding out. So we were both like texting profusely, like the last 5
I'm
minutes.
sure.
before we found out. And then luckily when 4 hit, it wasn't my scene. So I just minus out of the Zoom, checked my email, and I got it. And I didn't want to have like too verbal of a reaction to because I didn't want to like disrupt rehearsal or anything, but I did like a little silent cheer, and then I went on to rehearsal. But it's funny because Marley got Chem TA, and she was in the middle of a scene when she found out, and she just like completely left in the middle, like came back 2 minutes later, and she was like, like screaming, and it was really funny.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Are
Jake,
you
can we tell the story of how we found out? Because I feel like it's almost a little bit similar to Nate's, I think.
Sure, Dempsey. You can tell the
I'll tell it.
story.
So, similar to Nate, both Jake and I were finding out about Mentor, and we were in a jazz choir rehearsal, which is after school. We were finding out at 7, and for like a half an hour, because jazz choir started at 6:30, both Jake and I were so nervous and like couldn't keep still. And then like 5 minutes before 7, Jake and I both like realized like we need to get out of here. We need to find out. And our teacher, Mr. Piali, is not having it with us. He's like so upset. And then Jake's like, okay, I need to leave. And then Mr. Piali's like, is that the most important thing right
Dempsey,
now?
you told the story so poorly.
What? Okay, fine. You know what?
You want me to tell it?
Fine, tell the story, because I think I'm doing a fine job.
No. Okay, so what happened was you'll see all the parts you missed of the story.
Okay.
Basically what happened was we were in jazz choir, like he said, and then when it was approaching 8:00, I pulled my phone out discreetly to try to find out and like see what was going on. And I I'm like opening the mail app on my phone, and Mr. Piali is like, phone on the piano. You didn't remember this part.
Oh, I did not. No.
He's like, phone on the piano. I was like, Mr. Piali, like, it's really important. I'm just trying to like see, like, Mentor came out, and he's like, phone on the piano. Like, now is not the time. You'll find out after. And I was like, Mr. Piali, like, can I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, can I just look right now, like, really quickly? And he's like, you need to make a decision. If that's more important to you than jazz choir right now, then you can leave and you can find out. I said, I'm sorry, but at this moment right now it is. And so I left and I opened it. And then Dempsey came strutting along afterwards.
I know. Because if you're leaving, I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave and find out.
Eventually got so fed up that he just kicked us out and he was like, go on break.
Yeah. Which I guess is kind of nice, like all of us.
I remember.
What's up?
I feel like I was with you when you found out, or like with you right after.
You were right after.
Oh, he like kicked us out or something.
No, I remember we were like by the lockers and like by the gym, and like Jake found out, and then I was so nervous, and then I thought at first I didn't get it, and then I like read the email more carefully. I was like, oh, okay, so I did get it, and I don't know, it was a fun experience, I'll say.
Yes,
it was good. So, are you excited to be Mentor?
I'm so excited. I mean,
yeah, sure.
We had the Mentors, like, word spread so fast, and we had a group chat like 20 minutes after I got my email. And it's a really, really good bunch, and it's going to be super fun to work with them. I had an amazing experience as a freshman. My mentors were Michael Popo and Phoebe Waxman, and they were really, really awesome and super helpful, and I'm excited to give that experience to the kids. My mentor partner is Skylar Silverstein. Shout out to her. She's like the nicest person ever. She's going to be such an awesome partner. And my teacher is Mr. Allen, who is an absolute legend. I had him my sophomore year for AP World, and I really dug that class, and I feel like we really connected. And he was so supportive of like the theater part and everything. And it's going to be so fun to work with him. I already know.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, I had Alan for mentor freshman year, and that was like my favorite class because he'd always tell stories and he'd always make it like the most fun thing in the world. So Nate, you're going to love it. I know you are.
Mr. Lopez, I told him after rehearsal ended when everyone left the Zoom, and I was like, I got mentor, and he was like, congrats, that's amazing. Who's your teacher? And I was like, Mr. Allen. He's like, oh, he's going to work you hard. And in my mind, I was like, but is he? Because I feel like there's going to be so many periods where you just spend the whole time telling a story.
Yeah, right.
I'm like not going to have to do anything.
Yeah,
you still do a lot. It's just more like,
I'm sure, yeah.
It depends on the teacher, really. Because like some teachers will like take more control of the class, and then others will be a little bit more hands off. It just depends on like the teacher, really.
Yeah.
You need to like work with them and stuff.
Yeah,
totally.
Like for musical theater, like what schools are you looking at right now? And like, are you trying to like apply to a lot? Is that what you're doing?
I am gonna apply to a lot. Right before quarantine, I flew to Ohio,
Right.
Cincinnati, and saw CCM,
Yeah.
Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, and it was absolutely amazing. The cool part is like the conservatory building is like literally right next to the football field.
Oh, that's cool.
I like, so it's like I'd be a part of like huge school, but then I'd also be doing musical theater, which is awesome. And then right after, me and my dad drove up to Michigan and saw that school. I mean, Michigan is pretty much the best music school in the country. So yeah, it was they have a whole campus just dedicated to the music school, and it was breathtaking. It was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, those are like some top tier schools. What my coaches are telling me right now is that my whole list is like all top tier musical theater schools.
Yeah.
I need to start finding like some second tier schools that I really, really like that I can fall back on.
What are those? Like, what are examples of those?
To be honest, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Because schools that I have actually like researched have been like the top schools.
Of course.
Right.
Because I mean, like you want to be in like the best place you can, and like immediately like the top places are gonna come to your mind, like Cincinnati, Michigan, like Elon, those places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. Maybe you'll join me next year, Nathaniel.
I know. Miami. Are you looking at Miami?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely gonna audition there. The Frost School is
of course.
Country, and I visited. It was really cool. And the campus is beautiful.
I feel like it'd be so cool if you, Jake, and Dom all went to the same school.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, I know. The thing I'm kind of nervous, like, I'm kind of glad I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going with, like, my friends. And because I'm going to Colgate and Cornell, and, like, I don't really have too many people, like, that I'm, like, friends with. So I kind of like that because I feel like, for me, I'm getting, like, a fresh start.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm kind of, like, starting over.
I think everyone's...
That's definitely what you want from college.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited for that.
I would assume he's going to branch out and meet a bunch of people because you're just like that. So.
Oh, thank you. I mean, for me, you're in this community, right, for like 13 years. And like the people around you, they know like every part of you. And they like know all the embarrassing parts and everything. And like, I don't know. I just want the ability to like to create a new me. Like that's like doesn't have these embarrassments, like this like cringy past. But like everyone has that, so
yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, you'll totally get that. That's like that's what college is.
I have to ask this question, but Nate, how are you gonna feel with Jake and I gone next year?
I really don't know what I'm gonna do. You're my only friends.
Hard.
I'll survive. Yeah.
You'll be good. I mean,
like it's only a year, and you know what? Honestly, like it's it might be kind of a blessing in disguise because I can really, really dedicate myself to like my training and my preparing for college on the weekends and not really have as many distractions.
Yeah. I mean, also senior year for me, I got to know like so many people that like I never really like knew before. Which I mean,
totally.
Like with us gone, I feel like it'll give you like good opportunities to like know all these people. Cause like, I don't know, once I got to know a lot of people, I'm like, oh, these people are pretty cool. And like people like I hadn't really known before and only like really knew their names and like nothing else. So I think it gives you like a good opportunity to like get to know your class one more time before you're off.
I've been friends with kids who are not in my grade for like the past 3 years. So I think it'll be cool to like try and reconnect with some people that maybe I was friends with when I was in middle school, or maybe meet some new people who I like.
You'll definitely get that.
I mean, definitely mentor for me. Got to introduce myself to a lot of people who I didn't really know before. So I'm sure it'll do the same for you.
Yeah, I'm sure it will too.
Yeah. And I mean, every mentor group, it's like such great people. So I mean, like you're getting introduced to like all these like cool people.
Yeah, we have a really, really cool group, but they think that they're going to win Yogi Ball, which is just obviously going to win.
Actually, fun fact. I won Yogi Ball with Mr. Allen's class against Jake's class. My
fake
year.
news.
Okay, we won fair and square, so I don't need that.
Wait, Jake, which class were you in?
I was in D. Martino my freshman year.
I was in Naughton freshman year and I won. And then I was also selected to be in the All-Star game, which totally had nothing to do with me being mean. It was totally because my Yogi Ball ability was.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You're going to have a nice time, but you better win, Nate. I'm really rooting for you because you got to bring like the legacy back of like
my kids have
winning.
no idea what's coming. I'm going to set up Yogi Ball boot camp. We will have mandatory outside of school practices probably 2 times a week. We will develop some sort of cheer on the way down to the Yogi Ball games. Goldie recommended the but I don't know. I might try to make my own thing.
I think you should make your
I'm
own
gonna have them during the games. I'm gonna have them all line up like soldiers. Bat. There's no way my team is not winning. Like it's
Nate's like turning his Yogi Ball team into West Point over here.
Who needs to learn about like healthy relationships when?
Of course. I'm really trying to get my brother in your mentor class because like you and Mr. Allen are like a power team. I'm like considering emailing Mr. Allen and being like, what are the chances like my brother can be with you guys?
It's completely up to the computer though.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
It's not. They can pick the class.
It kind of is. It kind of, yeah. They organize it.
It's just completely random because of the.
It's not random. Like they'll do it where like they'll try and separate friend groups and like because really the whole part of mentor is trying to give them like an authentic high school experience, which part of it is like differentiating it from the middle school. So like introducing yourself to like new people and like not being around the same types of people. It's like part of what mentor is essentially.
Yeah.
All right. So
Jonah is very excited for me to be a mentor because he plans on dropping in.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Does he?
He is to just randomly walk into my class. And I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest.
He should go in on the first day of school.
Oh my god.
Do like the whole
No, he should introduce himself as like, hi, I'm Nate Bergman and everything.
Yeah, and then
walk in like wearing his glasses.
And then like halfway through the class, he should like go to the bathroom and you can come back and like just see if they notice.
Yeah. That'd be so totally funny. All right. So I think this is about the end of our podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Nate, for coming on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
I know.
Yes.
So I'm going to say one last thing that I haven't said before, but if you guys have not already, please subscribe to our channel because, we want a lot of subscribers. Subscribing helps you guys see the podcast. I always put on my Snapchat, but a certain other person doesn't, Jake. So subscribing is the best way of seeing the podcast.
Calm down over there.
Jake, I tell you like 20 times Sally. A day, hey, can you advertise the podcast? You're like, yeah. And then like you never do it. So
all right.
Subscribing is an easy solution.
Let's calm down.
And donate to Feeding Westchester, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Nate, I'm gonna ask you. You're gonna donate?
I will.
Awesome.
Good.
Glad to hear that. All right, thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Adios, senor. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do a countdown. 1, 2, 3.
Adios,
Adios senor.
Senor.